Hi guys, it's April and today we find out which image I will be starting next for these live streams. I did put a couple of different places where you could vote for what page would be up. So I had a poll up over on the community tab, which I believe is still open. Um, I had one over on my Instagram channel where a few people voted in that as well. And then I had um, a poll over on Threads, but I think it was only up for a couple of days or so. And I did get some votes over there. So I tallied up all the votes, and we are going to find out which of these I will be coloring next. But I will show you what I put up for vote. I picked images that kind of had a fall vibe or could have had a color scheme that shifted it to more of that fall like feel because that's just where I am right now. But they're not like heavily fall inspired, they're just hinting at fall. So I did pull out the Posh coloring book inspired by nature because some point I do want to color a page in here because it is just a beautiful coloring book. I have two images on this one. Uh, there's this first one, which I always label as hummingbird grass because there's a little hummingbird, and all the rest of this is kind of those grassy colors. And like I said, it's more of this one is more of a beginning of fall kind of vibe rather than like full on fall. And then the second one is also a hummingbird page, which is it's that mix between summer and fall feel if you really look at it because we've got these wildflowers. It's just a gorgeous page, and I don't know, something about this page calls to me, and I thought it would be a fun one to do. But other than those two, I also have a page in Natural Enchantment by Sakuam, and that is this page right here. I call it Red Hood because it reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood. And once again, it's one of those ones that if you do some of those deeper tones, the browns and the maroons and the ambers and some of those deeper red colors instead of vibrant red colors, this one could be really fun. I put that one out there. I don't remember if I've done anything in this book yet. Hold on. Let me do a quick. I don't think I have. No, I haven't. So this would be another one that I'd get a page colored in. And then the last option was in Fragile World by Kirby Rosan. And that one, once again, I haven't colored anything in this book yet. So all of these are pages for that I want to start these books. I just have so many coloring books that I keep trying to do at least one page in each of them. So that's usually what ends up in the votes. But that would be this one right here. This is just a couple of owls inside of a broken down tree. And so this one leans heavily in the brown tones, maybe with some of those brownish reds. So it was giving me, once again, those fall vibes. So that was the last option. If I remember correctly, we did have a very clear cut winner. Um, there, there was. This is just going to give away who actually won. There was a little running for second place between these two coloring books because I think I keep bringing up all three of these pages because at some point I really want to get into these, but I also want to color in something that you guys get excited about. So this might be something that happens at my own pace in my own time at some point, but for now, these are not the next runner up for or the next up to bat coloring page that I will be starting. It is Fragile World. I will be starting in this one, and we will be doing this cute little family of owls. Now, here's the next part. Because Kirby is a two-sided coloring book, I don't always feel comfortable doing straight marker. So a lot of Kirby's I do a very light marker base, usually water-based marker, and then I come back in with coloring pencil. And so I'll probably do something similar here, do a marker base with color pencil on top, simply because I just got done with colored pencils, even though that kind of had a marker base too. And oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm sorry. Give me a second. And I don't want to jump straight back into colored pencils again. I like doing the mixed media style a little bit better. But I'm not 100% sure which markers I want to use as a base for this. Hello, welcome, good afternoon. So I would love to hear your guys' ideas of what I should use as a base for this page before I put color pencil on top. I might put another poll up with several options because I'm not going to do alcohol base because that's just going to bleed through. But I could use some water-based or India ink. And I also have the new Posca, or not Posca, the new, what is the word I am looking for? My brain has just decided to go on vacation. I know it. I'm staring at them, but I can't think of the name of them right now. Pantone. Why could Pantone not come out of my brain? I do have the new Pantone markers, which I'm kind of leaning towards attempting to use Pantones on this. I'd have to be a little careful, and I'd probably stick to the less saturated colors as a base for the Pantone on this side. I'd have to run a couple tests to see how the bleed is with the Pantones. But the Pantone ink is very similar to the India ink, so I think if I keep it very light-handed and I don't layer it, it would work as a very good base. So I might lean that way, but I also know that the Pantone markers aren't a set that most people have or wish to use. So I will probably put up a poll and ask if, okay, do you guys want me to do Pantone base, maybe a Tombow base, possibly a Pitt pen base, or just generic watercolor or water-based marker base? I think those are the 4 different types of markers that I have that would work in this case. I do have a lot of watercolor markers that maybe we could do something with, but I'll have to see if the polling lets me do 5 options instead of 4. But I'd also love to hear from you guys if you have any thoughts right off the top of your head of how I should start this one. Unfortunately, I do not have time this weekend to actually start this piece, but I do have some thoughts that are starting to run through my head of what the color palettes for this should be. And as I'm thinking that up, I will definitely throw out different hints and clues over on my social medias so that you guys can yay or nay some of the thoughts I'm thinking about. I do want this one to be a little bit of a collaborative piece. So if you guys haven't colored this page yet, or even if you have and you feel like pulling out Fragile World, or this page probably shows up in another one of his coloring books as well, because we all know they like to combine and redistribute and have you repurchase the same things over and over and over again. I would love to color this with you, or I would love to see what you've already done for this page. Um, yeah, I think that's probably all I have for today. I'm sorry it's a short stream. It's one of those weekends. It's like we're hitting the beginning of fall and all of those kind of shenanigans. So I'm excited, and I want to thank all of you guys who came and showed up. I see several of your beautiful faces in the chat, so thank you. I love that you showed up and that you're willing to chat with me. And I do hope that you will come back next weekend. Once again, I apologize for this shorter stream. It's just it's one of those things. I mean, I can really quickly go grab those markers so you can kind of see what I'm talking about and kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe ooh, that's what we could do. If we can make this a little bit longer, is maybe there's a test page on here that I can do some test swatching on those markers. We'll do that. Hey, hold on. Everyone, hold on. Don't disappear yet, even though I was starting to do the closing of this live stream. We're pivoting. We're rotating. We're going to do some things. Okay. So, we were talking about possibly the traditional Holbein. I will grab around from that. And then we were talking about possibly a Pantone. And then we have some of these watercolors. And then we have pit pens. I'm gonna grab a traditional water-based marker. I'm making sure these are all kind of in the same color range. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I grabbed a warm brown, which, oh dear, I can't find my chair, is what I think is going to happen on this page. So here I've got my traditional Tombow water-based marker. I've got the new Pantone marker, which I don't know if they ever really explain what kind of ink is in here, but it acts a lot like the India ink that are in the Artist Pit Pens by Faber-Castell. So I grabbed one of those. I also I have the Faber-Castell Albert Durer watercolor markers. So I grabbed one of those. And then I've just got, this is just a water-based marker. The brand is Zig. It's the Art and Graphic Twin, but it's a water-based dye, like any of the Crayola markers, or technically even the Tombow marker. So we're gonna do a little test with that. Let's put this in the back of the page, or book, excuse me. I know this to the very last page. I have this little section kind of down here. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. You can get that in frame for you. Okay, so we are going to start with the Tombow. Okay. I might have to grab another one. Oh yeah, this one dried up. Well, gosh be darn. That's not good. I think I have a backup of this one, which I do. Ugh, this is why every so often you have to go through and inventory your markers, because you might find something like that. Okay, yes, there we go. So this is a Tombow. And we'll see how. This is thicker paper. So yeah, the Tombow doesn't go through as long as you just do a layer, which would be how I would use this. Okay, Pantone, which I believe the angled part is a chisel. So other side, brush. Okay, so what should we color for this? Let's just Go right in here. I'm going to keep it one layer. That one doesn't go through either, so it's right about here. So we're technically okay with that. I'm guessing we're probably going to be okay with most of these, as like I said, as long as I don't layer. This is the Pit Artist pen. Oh, this little guy over here. That one doesn't go through either. I've got this watercolor marker, which I think technically you're supposed to use in several different ways, not just like marker on a page, but I'm just going to marker on a page for now. That's pretty good too. There's no bleed through on that. And then lastly, I have my Zig, which is this water-based marker. I can't grab the page anymore. And no. So at least all of these with one base does not go through. I'm going to quickly do a second layer and a third. We're going to see if that goes through. Surprisingly, no. So this paper is decently thick, at least with the water-based. I think it's going to be the same for Tombow. I'm going to do a second layer, at least through half of it. And I'm going to do a third. No bleed through there. I'm back with the Pantone. Second layer. Third layer. See, you can start to see that ghosting a little bit. So I'd have to only do one layer if I use the Pantone. I might be able to get a little bit of shading if I use the Tombow or the generic water-based markers. And then I think I used the Pit next. So we'll start with a second layer. Third. Flip that over. Yep, see that did fine. And then we've got the water base, or the watercolor. We'll do second, and then a third. Yeah, so I think it's just the Pantone. Let's see if I can drag this in here. Just the Pantone right here. That even on the second layer started to show up. Maybe I won't do the Pantone this time. Or I'll just combine and call the Tombow water base the same thing. So I'll put that up for vote for you guys to see which one of these you would like to see colored with next. And then I'll probably just use a little bit of colored pencil to do some of the defining shadows and things. So with that, I will call it for today. Look for that vote post. What do I want to call it? Um, the poll. Thank you. The poll probably tomorrow. I'll put that out so that we can have the rest of the week. And then next Saturday, I believe, I will start coloring this page. I will put up a reminder so that you guys know I will be going live and what time I will be going live. So if you want to set a notification for that, feel free to subscribe and hit all of those wonderful confusing buttons so you get notified when I put up new information or when I go live. I also usually post on Instagram and on threads that I'm going live, so you can follow me over there as well and you can see this as it progresses. I am working on a speed version of the coloring page we just completed. So if anyone wants to see the full progress of that without sitting through and listening to my voice, that should be coming soon. So look forward to that. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you for coming and joining me on this shorter stream, and thank you for everyone who voted and chose their favorite page to color next. I do hope I will see you again next weekend, and I heart your beautiful faces.